What's up, YouTube? Who wants to be rocking with Dokken? Today I'm going to be doing a Dokken discography. They're coming to Pittsburgh tomorrow. I don't think I'm going to go. I don't have the money, but we'll see. This band, it's hard to do a discography because I have a top 3, and then it kind of goes like a lot of bands. But there's a few here that I don't know if they're set in stone or not. Top 3, bottom one is, but I'm gonna move this over a little bit. And I've seen Dokken, I don't know, 5 or 6 times early in their career when I saw them. Well, not in their career, but when I was younger. Don still sounded good, but that's why a lot of people don't go now, is because of his voice. He can still sing in lower register really, but not. It has to be pretty low, like the new album, which I'll get to in a second. But the band still sounds tight, even though George is long gone. And Mick Brown retired, but Jeff is gone, so they're worth going to see for just some music alone. And he's no Vince Neil. I still rather listen to Don sing more than Vince Neil. But let's get into it. I've got Tooth and Nail playing in the background. I need a better setup because I don't have a tripod. It's very high and it's too low, and I don't have a desk, but whatever. Let's give it a go. At the bottom, no surprise, is Shadow Life. I watched Don give an interview recently on YouTube, and he said he came in they told him he had to sing this certain song a certain way because George and Jeff wanted this new sound, like Monster Magnet, alternative, post-grunge crap. The first 3 songs I can listen to. Puppet on a String has an interesting beat to it. Cracks in the Ground's not bad. Sky Beneath My Feet, it's okay, but it's not Dokken. It even doesn't have the typical Dokken logo. And Convenience Store Messiah might be the worst Dokken song ever. Next up, a lot of people probably have this higher. I never got into it even after I bought it. That's Hell to Pay from 2004, I think. Yeah, 2004. So there's 12. I'm going to try to do this without getting in trouble here or losing topic. 12, 11, number 11. Now it starts off, most Dokken albums start off with a decent song or a good song, and it's always one of the best ones. Like even Puppet on a String is the best song from Shadow Life. Here it's no different. Well, it's probably the second favorite. It's The Last Goodbye. It's a good song. It's a good rocker. Don't Bring Me Down and Escape followed up pretty decent. They're pretty good rocking songs. Great guitar work from John Levin. It's his first album with Dokken. And Barry Sparks on bass. I think it's second album with Barry. I could be wrong. Might be Long Way Home. I don't remember. And Prozac Nation, when he talks about all the drugs, he starts naming off all the drugs. That's probably my favorite song on the album. It's not even that great of a song. And there's Care For You. I think it might have been released as a single somewhere. It's just a boring ballad. There's even an acoustic version on here. And the second half's just boring. It's not memorable at all. And the thing with Dokken is, I mentioned this with my Scorpions release or my review. I think I said it in the video, but I know I said it before in person and online that the Scorpions can write ballads better than anybody. They make so many great ballads. That's their forte. Dokken, not so much. Besides, I'll get to the rest of them, but like Alone Again, maybe Walk Away, and I'll get to it later what I'm talking about. But they're just a lot of their ballads are just not memorable. But sad as it is. So coming in at number 10 from 2002, Long Way Home. This moved up a spot because I was going to have it lower, but it's for 1 or 2 reasons. One is John Norum. It's the only album with John Norum from Europe on here, and he kicks major ass. The only downside is he doesn't show off his abilities very much. That limits the album right there. It's not like Levin, where Levin's all over the record, and George Lynch, obviously. With John, it's little here, little there, and not much else. Sunless Day is an amazing song. It's one of the most underrated Dokken songs in my opinion, so that's why I have this at number 10. It's just a great guitar intro. We live in sunless days, no horizon from the storm. Great song. Everybody Needs to Be With Someone. I guess. I'm not, never will be probably. Goodbye My Friend, boring ballad. I found boring ballad. Magic Road, There Was a Time, Heart Full of Soul. They're decent rock songs, but not really memorable. And Under the Gun is the other song I like from this record, the 9th out of 10th track. It shows John's skill on guitar the most, aside from Sunless Days. So it's a pretty forgettable album, but I can listen to it. It's not like horrible, so that's why I have it at 10th. 9th, I don't have this one. It's the only one I don't have, and I want to do rankings with all of them, but you know, I just don't have a lot of money at the time. And this album, for some reason, when I was looking at it, was expensive as shit, and I never bought it when it came out. I should have, but that's their second to last album, Broken Bones, from 2012. I'll put the picture up here. It sounds really good, but it just sounds uninspired to me. Empire was the single and the lead-off track. Once again, solid opener, second favorite off the record, followed by the title track, which is my favorite song off the record. And the rest are they're good, but they're forgettable. I do like Burning Tears. That's another good song off the record. And they have Today, which is a boring ballad, and a later song called Tonight on the same record. And Tonight's not bad. And I also like Fade Away a little bit, so it's good. But it's just, a lot of it is you'll forget it. That's the problem with later Dokken records, is it just, they don't last in the memory as long. And so that was number 9. Number 8, I'm going to get shit for this because a lot of people have it higher, and I don't know why. I love the two songs, don't get me wrong. It's two of their best songs. That's Breaking the Chains. Breaking the Chains might be the signature Dokken song, depending on who you ask. It's an amazing song. And of course, Paris is Burning. Amazing song. Live, especially. And when I bought this at Sam Goody, I don't know what the hell this is. Maybe you could tell me if it's George Lynch or Juan Croucier, maybe. The Rat bass player that was with Dokken for this debut album. And this album has an interesting story because it was a Don Dokken solo album. It said Don Dokken had him in the cover and, you know, tied up in chains. And then it came out with a different version, different colored. I think it's like blue and black, Dokken, same cover. And it had a different track list, I think. Like, the original had Paris. It wasn't called Paris is Burning. It's just called Paris, and it was a studio cut. And it also had, there's a song, Live the Rock, Rock to Live, which I think was replaced. I forget the name of the song. It was either off the Don Dokken Breaking the Chains or the first version of this, with this cover. But the problem with this album is the rest of the songs. They're bad. I wouldn't say they're like bad in terms they suck. Like, they're not like rap or country, but they're just not. They're almost like demos, in my opinion. Like, I listened to all these songs over again when I was doing this discography, and I'm like, okay, I'm trying to pick out a highlight besides Breaking the Chains and Paris is Burning, and I'm like, they're all like demo type level songs. Stick to Your Guns, not the Motley Crue song. Live the Rock, Rock to Live, cheesy. Night Rider was maybe the one I would choose for the third best song. I don't know. That's why I have it lower, because it sounds fine, but it's just the songwriting besides those two are not up to par. So that's why it's number 8. Number 7, I'm going to go with a brand new album, Heaven Comes Down. And I don't know what it is with Don. He always names albums after songs. This was the one, Heaven Comes Down, which is playing in the background. But this is just Heaven Comes Down, like Shadows of Life and Shadow Life, same thing, pretty much the same damn thing. And this album, it sounds really good. The first 4 songs I really like a lot, and it surprised me. I thought it was going to be bad. And when you listen to it, it's Don, but he's singing in a lower range because like I said, he can't hit the high notes anymore. But he sounds really fine. I wouldn't say great, but he sounds fine, good enough, solid enough where you don't need AI, and if he sings in a lower pitch, it sounds good. Fugitive, which was the song, video they released, awesome song, one of the best. Once again, Dokken, or I keep wanting to say Don Dokken. Dokken leadoff track is one of the best on the record. Gypsy's another good one. Is It Me or You is kick-ass. And Just Like a Rose might be my favorite off the album. It's just a really good, solid mid-rocker, type of rocker. I should have treated you just like a rose. Great fucking song. I'll Never Give Up. It's like, it's a decent ballad. I give it that much. It's better than a good percentage of Don Dokken's ballads. Well, I want to keep saying Don Dokken. God damn it. Of Dokken's ballads. And then Santa Fe, it's interesting. It's definitely a highlight of the record. It's like a country western biography song where it's all acoustic, and you know, he says he lives in LA. It's a biography song, and then he found his home in Santa Fe, and he'd been around the world. It's interesting, I'll give it that, and it's definitely a highlight of the record, even if it's not something I really would listen to style-wise. But it's definitely Don telling everybody this is it. This is the final Dokken record, which he stated most likely it would be, and he found his home in Santa Fe, and he just wants to, you know, live his life in peace. As a whole, this album, Over the Mountain was another good one I just released on YouTube, lyrical video. But as a whole, this album's solid. It surprised me. So I think it's a pretty good mid-level Dokken album. So I have it at solid number 7. Now these next 3 are really fucking solid. Almost right up there with vintage top end Dokken. And number 6, this could go up, I guess, a spot maybe, is Erase the Slate, 1999. This was the only one with Reb Beach on guitar, and Reb's amazing, you know, Whitesnake, Warrant, you name it, he kills it every time. And Erase the Slate, sort of like a fast-paced opening track, which is one of the best songs on the record, of course. It's like Tooth and Nail, that type of song. It's really good. I want the ordinary life. Great song. That's my favorite song off this record. Maddest Hatter, track 3. I'm the Maddest Hatter of them all. They did a strange cover, but it's really good. One by Three Dog Night. It works. I don't know how it does, but it works. It's also on here. Voice of the Soul. Oh, here's one. Crazy Mary goes round and round and round. Crazy Mary goes round. It shouldn't work, but it does. It's a highlight of this record, and it's Mick Brown of all people singing. I think it's his only Dokken song he sings on, but it works. It fits really well with this album. It's definitely a highlight. And then In Your Honor is one of the better Dokken albums or ballads that people don't remember, but it's solid, and it's one of the few Dokken ballads that I really like. So overall, Erase the Slate's amazing. Check it out if you love Reb Beach and you don't know this Dokken record, or if you skipped over it. I highly recommend it. Number 6, Erase the Slate. Now I'm going to do something here that I can't decide on. Tied for 4th are these 2 amazing albums. You got the overlooked and often disliked, or at least toward the bottom of most people's rankings, Dysfunctional from 1995, and 2008's The Last Great Dokken Record, Lightning Strikes Again, another song or album based off a Dokken song. I'll start with Dysfunctional. I went back and forth between 4th and 5th. I can't make up my damn mind because they would change all the time. So I'm just going to say it's going to be a tie for 4th place. Starting off with Dysfunctional. Now, this album came out in 1995, as I mentioned, and the band members didn't speak for a while, and they were not on good terms. George Lynch was still fighting with Don. And this is definitely a departure from traditional Dokken, not in a sense like it's grunge, like Shadow Life, but it's just more straightforward, laid-back rock and metal. It leans away from the classic 80s metal, so... Inside Looking Out is a good song. It's not one of the best ones on the record, though. It's one of the better ones. Hold My Head. The Maze is an underrated song. It starts out with this guitar, acoustic guitar. I'm stuck inside the maze. All the corners look the same. It's a really good, underrated song. And their single that is the only Dokken song they've played outside the 80s records consistently since it came out was Too High to Fly. Now, I'm not a Doors fan, but it kind of reminds me of like the 60s psychedelic Doors, and it has a great slow build up with the bass, dun, 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 and it has that great guitar by George Lynch. We sold our sons and we sold our daughters. Pretty soon we'll sell our brothers. Da 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 da. It's just a great groove. It has a fucking amazing groove to it, and it's about drug addiction. How you do everything to get drugs, and I think Don said one time that he witnessed this girl just die in front of him due to drug addiction and overdose, and that's what this song's about. They do anything just to get a high, too high to fly, and it's like 7 minutes long almost. It's just a groovy, bass-ridden, guitar driven track. It sets the mood perfectly of this album, and it's one of my favorite Dokken songs ever. Shadow Life, or I keep saying Shadow Life, Shadows of Life. Living in the shadows of life. Once again, Shadow Life, Shadows of Life, great rocking tune. Another one, Sweet Change is the only one I don't like. It has like a Mid-Eastern like flair to it, almost like a sitar. What Price it's like thrash Dokken that went on thrash. It's really kick-ass. And the last song is ELP song from the beginning. I don't like ELP. They're just too far out there for me. And I don't like a lot of progressive. I love Rush, but it just ELP is just really strange. So it does. I didn't really like that song, but it's just Shadows of Life or Dysfunctional. Solid, underrated record. Needs to be on vinyl. A lot of people don't like it, and it's often overlooked. And then Lightning Strikes Again. The best, easily, with John Levin. This album is the most 80s album Dokken ever did that wasn't in the 80s. It sounds just out of the 80s. I love it. I mean, I saw him on this tour. This Dokken shirt's a Lightning Strikes Again shirt. It's just Dokken, has Lightning Strikes Again tour dates on the back. Saw him on this tour. Don still sounded good at the time. Standing on the outside, I see you, or I feel you. How's it go? Standing on the outside, looking in. I haven't listened to it in a while. Has great guitar work in it. You got a heart of stone, heart to stone. Disease. It's like really thrashy Dokken. You can tell I haven't listened to this album forever. It's sort of like What Price from Dysfunctional. It's really heavy, really good. Into the Oasis. Oasis, good song there. At the point of no return. Release me, give me wings again. Great song. And This Fire. Another thing. Fire. Into the Fire, This Fire, Burning Like a Flame, Paris is Burning. But This Fire might be my favorite song off the record. It's the last song. This fire is burning, I can't feel it burning inside anymore. It has a great, just driven guitar riff to it. It's just fucking awesome. This album as a whole, there's not a bad song on this album, except maybe How I Miss Your Smile, another boring Dawkins ballad. But overall, this is solid, and it's, like I said, best record with Levin. The last record, I believe, I could be wrong, with Mick Brown, because I thought Mick Brown was on Broken Bones, but I looked it up. It was journeyman Jimmy DeGrasso on drums and Sean McNabb on bass. DeGrasso's played with everybody, like Ozzy, Y&T, Megadeth, you name it. But he's an amazing drummer. But apparently this was the last one with Mick, because he retired a while back, but I thought he was on there. But he wasn't, apparently. And the final three. A lot of people will have these in their top three. And it just depends on the order, really. And this one I'm going to show you first. I've watched a lot of reviews. I like to watch a lot of rankings to see where mine rank compared to others. And this one is always either first or second. A lot of times it's first. And I will say this right now. This record I'm about to show you, the band was the tightest. They sounded the best on this album. And that album is Back for the Attack with the hype sticker, Burning Like a Flame. Now, why is it not in the top two for me? Well, I can tell you why. The best songs besides maybe Dream Warriors, Prisoner, Kiss of Death, they're not as good as the other two albums, I don't think. They're best songs. and it kind of blends together right in midway through the album. There's no bad songs on this record. It's a perfect metal record almost, but it's just, it runs a little bit too long, and it's, I don't know, after a while, it just, there's like 3 or 4 songs that kind of just blend together, like I said, and but there's no bad weak tracks on it, so it's just a perfect late 80s metal record. Kiss of Death, the intro, a classic George Lynch, with the kiss of death. Prisoner, I'm a prisoner chained by love. Probably my favorite song on the record, actually. Heaven sent, but baby, I'm not the one. Great song, great video. Mr. Scary, probably my favorite instrumental, at least metal instrumental ever made. The second half drags a little bit. So Many Tears, Lost Behind the Wall, Stop Fighting Love. You can see what I'm saying, why I have it so low. Cry of the Gypsy, Sleepless Nights. All good songs, but no standout songs. 2 standout songs were Burning Like a Flame, which is maybe, if I remember, their biggest chart hit, maybe? It's 1 or 2, I think. And then, of course, Dream Warriors, what the casual fan everybody knows. It's an amazing song. I don't know what my favorite Dokken song is, but it's up there. And so it's just long. It's really long for a Dokken record. It's like 64 minutes or something. And it just I get lost in the second half. I just kind of get lost in. But like I said, there's no bad songs on it. The band sounds the tightest it did ever, and it's a great record. That's why I have it 3 though. And 2, a lot of people will put this one number 1 also. And I can see why. Tooth and Nail. This is where Dokken comes into their own, because, like I said, the debut is kind of like 2 great songs and a lot of like almost like demo type songs. But this one, oh my God, Tooth and Nail, their best, maybe their best opener and signature song, one of their signature songs. The classic intro with Without Warning into Tooth and Nail, like this fast speed metal there. Just Got Lucky, great song. Don't close your eyes and I'll be there. Into the Fire, I'm Falling, one of the top famous Dokken songs there. And Alone Again, of course, which is playing right now. Alone Again, which is it their best ballad? Probably. It probably is, and it's their most famous one for a reason. But I'm going to get to the next one in a second. And my favorite Dokken record, and their worst album cover probably, but my favorite album, Under Lock and Key. I just love this record. Now, what this album is compared to the other ones I just mentioned, this is the mid-tempo rocker album. Tooth and Nail is a heavy metal album, and so is Back for the Attack. This one is more mid-paced, mid-tempo rockers, and what sets this album apart from the rest is their ballads. Well, there's like 4 ballads on here, but 2 or 3 of them are kind of like mid-paced rockers, so I'll just throw them in as mid-paced, like most of this album is mid-paced. But they're all good. That's like the only Dokken album that has more than a few slower songs that I like, all of them. Opening track, Never Unchain the Night. Don't tell me that your love is gone. Great song. I'm a hunter searching for love. And then this is Dream Warriors might be every casual fan's song they know Dokken by, but my vote is In My Dreams It's Still the Same. Your love is strong, it still remains. That's definitely the classic Dokken song for me. And then you got Slipping Away, which is a slow ballad, but it's really good. And then back into the ass-kicking, fast-paced, and the lightning strikes again. Just like the album. And that was Tampa Bay Lightning, their intro song when they came on that ice before periods started, but I don't know if they still do it or not. It's not love that left you standing. Great song. Jaded Heart, another ballad. It's hard to explain if it's mid-paced or ballad. Kind of a balladish mid-paced song, but it's really good. Don't Lie to Me and Will the Sunrise, same thing, like in between like ballad and mid-paced rockers. Will the sun rise when it's over? And then last, Till the Living End. It's like a Tooth and Nail Jr. It's really fast-paced, just furious metal song to end the record. And it's not as good as Tooth and Nail, but it might be my least favorite on the record, but it ends the record on a high note because instead of just going mid-pace ballad, they bring it back up with Till the Living End. That's what I like about this record. It doesn't put you to sleep. Even the ballads, or if you want to call it, technically it might just be one ballad, Slipping Away, and the other ones are kind of a little heavier. It goes rock ballad, fast-paced song, rock ballad, fast-paced again. So the tempo is really, it just fits well. So that's why I think Under Lock and Key is my favorite. And that brings us to the end of my video. What did you think? Did you agree? Probably not. Disagree? What is your ranking? What's your favorite Dokken song? Most underrated Dokken album? Lightning Strikes Again or Dysfunctional? I would say Dysfunctional because everybody hates that record. But I've been wanting to do one for a while, and I never did get the Broken Bones, but I said, fuck it, I need to do this. The new album and the final, most likely album came out, so I needed to set the record straight and do a Dokken ranking. Anyway, thanks for watching. Until next time, I'll put another video in the description, and please subscribe. So I hope you have a good day, good week, good month, and keep on rocking with Dokken. See you later.